I'm in a meeting. I hear a plane overhead. Not uncommon. Plane gets louder. Everyone stops talking, looks at each other. Terrified. Plane gets louder. Bang! Plane hits. This is an excerpt from my father's experience while working in the Pentagon on September 11th, 2001. My father can give a personal account of the events, a unique insider's edition. He's been employed there for the past 18 years, and his day started out just like any other day. Got to work at 8 o'clock. His first meeting was at 8:30. Everything was going according to plan. During the meeting, they had been notified of the first plane hitting in New York, the World Trade Center, and the second plane. After the second plane hit, they had realized that this was no longer an accident, that America was under attack. And they were also notified of the additional 2 hijacked planes that had not been grounded, that were still in the skies. They were very concerned, but at the same time, they were somewhat comfortable. They figured they're working at the Pentagon. If there's a safe place to be, it's there. Dick Cheney had not evacuated the Pentagon. Donald Rumsfeld was still working there. My father and his colleagues in the meeting felt if there was a good cause to leave, that Donald Rumsfeld would have already left and the building would have been evacuated. So they felt fairly secure. 40 minutes later, bam, they get hit. Now my father was in a meeting less than 100 yards away from the impact in Corridor 6. As they leave, it's a chaotic experience. Injured people, they're helping injured people to get to safety. Smoke is filling the building. Further they get away, the calmer the situation is. But it's still a very chaotic experience. Over 23,000 employees work at the Pentagon on an average day. It's a small city, they like to call it. I have here a picture of the Pentagon after the impact. Here's the impact zone. Father was working here, in the meeting here. The military was attempting to get everybody into the courtyard as a safety zone. My father and many others felt that this was a really bad idea to get everybody lumped into a central area, because there was still one plane under the control of the terrorists. So why get to one spot? If another plane hits the Pentagon, they could all get wiped out. So my father exits through the river entrance. He's walking through the parking lot. They had heard stories that there was a car bombing inside of DC, which turned out to not be true, but at that point you don't know what's going on, so he just wanted to get away from the building as quick as possible. He made it to the highway, where he hitched a ride home. Now if there's any silver lining to the impact, the impact in Corridor 6 here was in a newly constructed, a newly renovated section of the building. That was the only section that had been renovated. Now that means the normal amount of employees that would be there had been displaced through other sections of the building. Very few people had returned to work in that corridor. 125 people died during the attacks that worked inside the Pentagon. If that had been a fully employed area, that number could have been over 1,000. So if there is any silver lining, it is that, as my father was telling me. Another thing to take away from it, in his eyes, Obviously, this happened in 2001. Fear has subsided substantially, but at the closer to the attacks, people were afraid of mass transit, and his opinion on that is you can't let, although he was very scared on this day, you can't let fear control your life. If you do, the terrorists have won. Fly, planes, trains, automobiles. Don't be afraid. Live your life as you would. And that's how he has after that. So, a very first-hand experience into the terrorist attacks at the Pentagon on 9/11. Thank you for your time. This has been my living history speech. Goodbye.